Hi, this is Pawan and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. In today's lesson, we'll be taking a look at the strumming pattern and chords for the song Rashke Qamar from the film Badshah, originally composed and sung by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab and produced in this film using a mix of his voice as well as that of Rahat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. A very interesting strumming pattern that I'm going to show you. Not really a song that someone will strum along with, but if you are able to play this the way I'm going to show it to you, you're really going to enjoy it. So let's get on with it. So the song is in E minor and the chords are pretty straightforward. If you're playing open chords, all you need to know is E minor, D, C. Most of the song is using these chords. There are a couple of places where you need A minor and G also. And those are the 5 chords pretty much. And if you're playing bar chords, so E minor, D, C, and then A minor and G you could play over here. So now let's check out the strumming pattern. I'll show you both in open chords and in bar chords as well. So this is how it will sound in the original speed if you're playing in open chords. So we'll use E minor for this and switch between E minor and D and C as well. And if you're playing bar chords, now let's take a look at the pattern step by step so you can get your timing right. So if you're playing in E minor, this is what we played. So that's pretty fast. Let me try and slow it down. I'll slow down even further. And if you're still not getting your timing right, this is what I'll recommend you do, as I've done in some of my other lessons. Play along with me 16 strokes, 8 down and 8 up alternating, without putting stress on any stroke or skipping any stroke. So I'm going to call out the 16 strokes, starting with 1. I'm going to skip calling out the other strokes so you will see how it sounds. 1. 1. So those are 16 strokes, 8 down and 8 up alternating. Now I'm going to add stress to strokes 1 and 4. So 1 is a down stroke, 4 is an up stroke, and I'll leave all of the other strokes without putting any stress on them. So 1, 4, 1, 4. And now I'm going to add stress on the 7th stroke as well. So 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7. And when you're playing the first stroke, always try to play that on the bass string. So those are the strings closer to the 6th string. So that gives you the first beat of the pattern. Now besides strokes 1, 4 and 7, we're going to add stress to strokes 10, 12, 14 and 16 as well. So 1, 4, 7. So now let's try and play this pattern together. Start very slowly and then gradually increase the speed to make it sound close to the original. And remember, it's a 16 beat pattern with stress on strokes 1, 4, 7, 10, 12, 14 and 16. So 1 is a down stroke, 4 is an up stroke, 7 is a down, and then 10, 12, 14 and 16 are the 4 up strokes right at the end of the pattern. So here we go in E minor. So one of the things that I did in that pattern that I just played was I was switching between chords in the middle of the pattern itself. That's I know it's a little tricky, so you could stay with the same chord for the entire pattern. But in the song you'll need to switch between chords if you want to play close to the original. So now let's take a look at bar chords as well. So in bar chords you have the ability to add muting effects. So the pattern is pretty much the same. So if I was to play without muting effects, it would be here we have E minor, so it will sound something like this. Now, so that's the pattern. It's pretty much the same as what we just saw in open chord. Now let's take a look at how this pattern will sound with the muting effects. Played at the original speed. I'm going to play it very slowly for you so you can play along with me. So let's try again in E minor. So as you can see, those are the same strokes which we had used when we played the open chords. So it's strokes 1, 4, 7, 10, 12, 14 and 16 where I'm adding the muting. And obviously those are the strokes on which I'm playing, putting stress on. The other strokes really don't matter whether you touch the strings or not. So So as you can see here, here again also I switched between one chord, between two chords in the middle of the pattern. So as opposed to playing, I played. So basically I played the first 8 strokes here and then moved to the next chord for the remaining 8 strokes. So as a result of which the strokes 1, 4 and 7 are really coming out of this chord, and the strokes 10, 12, 14 and 16 are coming out here. And the same is with the movement from D to E minor as well. So let me do the switch between the two chords very slowly so you can see. And the same concept applies when you're playing open chords as well. So the movement from C to D would be something like this. So when you're playing it pretty fast, this is how it's going to sound. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. As always, send me your comments and your questions and I will respond. And see you once again.